Hey everybody, welcome back to RedTone Studio. I am your host, Red. Today, I've got a bunch of speakers sitting here. I don't know what I'm going to do with them all, but we're going to try to turn this into an Atmos system. I have my JBL 308s that I haven't been able to sell yet since I got my Callies, which are in the front. We're going to leave those there. I've got my RedTone clones, which I built myself, so you can see the video for that over here. I've got a little Bluetooth speaker. This is going to be my center channel. We'll see how that goes. I've got some 15-inch mains that I used to use for the band, and I've got the 12-inch monitors that also went with the band. So I got some stands to put them on the desk, you'll see. Let's go set them up and see if we can't get these going in Reaper and have a Atmos system and see how she sounds. Let's jump in. Alright, so I got all my speakers hooked up, and you can see they're all the way around me, kind of where they're supposed to be. 2 in the back, 2 on the sides, you saw my 15s. I've got my Callies up front, and then up over the top here, I've got my RedTone clones, and in the way back, I've got my 12-inch monitor speakers up high. You saw me put them up there. So now I'm just going to go through and test them. You've got to have enough outputs in your interface. Some say 10. I think I am gone up to 12 to get all the right ones. You probably could skip some if you didn't want to have a center channel. There's also a LFE channel, which is your low channel, which you don't really need for music production. Some say anyways. I'm not using one. Run to a sub maybe. So I've got 12 outs. I'm going to go through and check them all. So I've got my mains running through normally. So I've got a lot of outs on my QU mixer, so that helps. And I've got them going to each different mix groups, which then go out to the separate speakers. So I've got them routed within the QU to go to every single mix output, so I can have a total Atmos system. Of course, your interface might be completely different, so you have to figure out how to do that. So I'm just going to be running some noise through each one just to make sure that each speaker is ready to go. So first channel 1. Coming out over here. Channel 2. Coming out over there. Channel 3. That should be my center channel, but since this is not a real center channel, it is what it is. There it is. Channel 4 is my LFE channel, so I've got nothing on that one. Channel 5 over here. Channel 7 right behind me. Channel 8 over there. Channel 9 up there. Channel 10 over there. Channel 11. Then channel 12. And you can see I can adjust the volumes as I go. So in a real world, I would have all the same speakers, of course, but then I'd go through and I'd adjust, make sure the volumes are all the same, make sure the timing is correct, make sure the EQ on them is all correct, really dial in the system, but I'm just seeing if this works for right now. So it seems to be all working. Let's jump into Reaper and then see how to set it up to make it work. Alright, so here's a brand new session. Well, not brand new, I've been playing around with it. Here's a session that I've got here in Reaper, and you can see in my blue channels here that these are my specific Atmos mixes. So you can see I've got a stereo mix, which is my two right ones, and then right channel, left channel, right rear, so all of the speakers laid out. But before I get into that, let me show you the plugin that I'm using. So I'm using this Dolby Atmos Composer Essential from Fielder Audio. Now this was absolutely free. They have a paid version. If you need a little bit more versatility, I'd suggest you pay for it, but I'm just playing around with it. So let's see how this goes. So here in my settings, I am going to have a composite of 714 because that's the number of speakers that I have up. I'm going to monitor it on 7.1.4. And then here you can see that I have all of my Atmos stems, I guess you could call them. So on each one of these Atmos stems, then I have this Dolby Atmos Beam Essential, also from Fielder Audio. And this is what my sends are. So you can see I have kind of a representation of the 7.1.4. And since this is my stereo mix, I've got it set up so that it comes out my two front speakers. And you can kind of move these around as you need to. And you can have them come out really anywhere in the mix. But to mix the way I have this one mixed, this is the way you want to have it. Coming straight out of that speaker, and if we move into, say, the right channel, you can see that I've got it coming, the sound and this little blue dot coming right out to the right channel. So for each one of these mixes, I have that set up. So there's a beam on every single one of these channels. And then if we jump in here to my mixer, you can see I have all my sends here in this area. And all these sends are going into which speaker that I want them in. So now if I hit play, these no longer come out of the main mix. They all go to my Atmos system. Works pretty good. I've been playing around with it. You can do your normal effects, before you send them to the Atmos speakers. And doing it this way, sending them to sends like this, your faders also work. But your mute and your solo, for whatever reason, don't quite work right. I'm sure there's a better way. Maybe there's a way around it. Some settings within Reaper, super powerful. We probably could make it work, but I just haven't had the chance to do that yet. Now another way you can mix with this, instead of having a bunch of sends, you could put this beam plugin onto each track individually. So if I want, say, my vocal to come out the front, which you probably do, then you could just put the beam on the vocal channel and have it come right out the front, or you can adjust it, move it around for each individual element. You could do it either way. If you do put the beam plugin onto the channel, then your fader no longer works because it happens before your fader. All right, a few more things to set up. So here in the output settings, not only do I have to have it at 7.1.4, I have found that you need to change the external output into your driver, AISO driver, if you have one. That seemed to work best for me. So now when I hit play, it's playing Atmos. I'm sure it sounds terrible through there.
Well, I lost my job for the second time. I had a job this year. It's probably best, 'cause I can't keep my head that clear.
So anyways, it works. Now, is this something I could mix with? Absolutely not. I mean, I could mix with it. I can make it sound good in this room, in my studio, but it would never translate because all of these speakers sound different. Now, it sounds amazing when you get it all going in this room again. So I really like it. This really makes me want to set up an Atmos system for real because it is fun to mix. It is fun to listen to. I've never heard it before until I just set this up. Don't have Apple Music. So now, is it worth it? That is the question. I don't have any clients asking for it. My personal music, I'm not going to really use it. But if somebody were to come in and ask for it, I would have some fun mixing it, that's for sure. I don't think there's anybody around in my area that would actually ask for it, though I am fairly close to Chicago, so maybe they would come out if I had the right price. But either way, this is really cool. Let me know down in the comments if you think you would try something like this. Think Atmos is a good idea. Make sure you like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.